Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This morning I'm going to be changing, taking the supercharger off and taking timing covers off. I've got a bit of work to do down on here today, so I'm going to start taking this off. So I'll just put you on pause and then I'll come back to the next bit. There we go, that's the bumper off, the front wheel off. Gives me a bit more access to get into here now. Next job is take off the alternator belt. Right, that's the supercharger removed. I take the bracket off. So I'm going to get new nuts and bolts for all this, make it look like new, because I've not really explained much about this project really. Basically I took it on because it was somebody else's project. He'd been building it up himself, and he got to a point where he actually got it running and working, and the way he's designed this supercharger, because it spins opposite direction to the engine, he's actually made a pulley system to make it spin opposite direction. Now if it were me, I don't think I'd have the supercharger here myself. I think if it were me, I'd get rid of the air conditioning pump here, mount the supercharger down at the bottom here. So reason for doing that in my mind is you're going to have more room for your boost pipes. So you could effectively run your boost pipes across the front of the cross member at the bottom. So obviously you're limited for space at the top. He's had the boost pipes coming out of this direction here and going across here, but there's no room at all for doing any of that kind of stuff. And I'm also worried about the amount of heat that's coming off from this area because of the manifolds. So effectively it could be warming this pipe up with air that goes to charge cooler, so it's going to be like, it's kind of not doing its job, if you understand what I'm saying. So obviously I've not owned it very long, so I've only owned it since September. I picked it up. It's had forged engine internals, so it's had forged pistons, forged conrods, so it can handle this sort of modification to it. So obviously engine's strong enough so it's not going to blow up. So when I originally picked it up, he had problems with the belts coming off all the time, and the belts, when it comes off, it took out the crank sensor wire which runs down at the side here, which is obviously it's going to take it out because it's so close to it. So I replaced the crankshaft sensor and it still wouldn't fire up, so I decided to take off the camshaft covers and change the crank angle sensor, because speaking to some Mitsubishi forums and places said that it doesn't always bring up a fault code. I don't know if that's correct or not, I'm just going off what they said. So they said if it were them, they'd change the crank angle sensor as well. So I went ahead and did that, and then it looks like you were talking sense, because when I tried to fire it up again, it were coughing. So the previous owner had been trying to start it up, you see, once he thought he'd fixed the crank sensor, because he'd repaired some wiring here, because obviously it pulled the wires out of the connector. So he's repaired all that and heat shrink wrapped it and everything. So basically I decided to undo the wiring for the coil packs and see what was going off, to understand, you know, if there's any broken wires, any damaged wires, all that kind of thing. So I pulled the first coil pack out and I got a friend to sit inside the car and turn over the key. Now this spark plug started to fire straight away, which I thought, well that's a good sign, because it weren't doing anything at all previous to me doing the crank sensor and the cam angle sensor. So got it all back, put it all back together, and then tried to fire it up, and it were coughing and spluttering. So I whipped all these front spark plugs out. Sorry. So I took all them out and I wire wheeled them and put them back in. Now all these three were sparking then, so it made me think that because it carried trying to start it up constantly, it's contaminated the spark plugs. So I ordered a brand new set of spark plugs and fitted them. First turn at key and she fired up. So if you look at my previous short video, I managed to get it actually running. So it all boiled down to fouled spark plugs, more or less. So now I've replaced all of that. Because I was doing some work on the crank angle sensor, there's a screw, so, well not a screw, but a bolt that holds the wiring to the block. Because it was so difficult to get to, the nut actually fell off my socket and landed in the timing cover. So today I am taking all the timing covers off to try and retrieve the bolt that fell inside the timing cover, because that is not safe to have a random bolt inside the timing cover, because if I go over any bumps or around any corners and it decides to fall out, you can kiss goodbye to your timing. So it's imperative that I remove it today. So that's what I'm up to today. So yeah, so that's off now. Yeah, boost pipes are off, so I'm just going to start now and take off the timing covers now and see if I can find it. I'll see you in a minute. So once I get all this removed, I can start searching for the bolt next, and I'm going to paint all these. I'm painting the rocker covers, painting the timing covers, and I'm painting the rocker covers, and then I'm going to paint the inlet manifold to match. So if you've got any ideas for colours, guys, let me know. Send me a message on YouTube. Let me know what colours would suit it. I mean, I've done gold heat wrap for the charge cooler. I'm changing this air intake filter because I don't like it. It looks crap. So it's going to be running about 8 psi. So standard, this is a GR engine in this Mitsubishi FTO. So they usually run around 167 horses from standard, which is a bit poor really for a V6 engine, but I think the Japanese really should have put the 6A12 TT engine in it, which is like the Legnum twin turbo V6 engine. They should have done that really, but I'm quite happy having a supercharger on it because it sounds amazing. So it's had about £10,000 spent on engine. I've got receipts in house full of all work it's had done, so it's had thousands spent on it to get it to this stage. So I've just got a bit more tuning to do to it yet. I mean, it's all ready to go regarding driving it, so once it's up and running, I've just got to neaten everything up now, because all this wiring is really pants, so I'm going to redo all this and put it in some proper conduit. I've already repainted the radiators and things. I've got my HKS bumper there to go over the top of these fans. I need to move this one further this way because it's too far that way, so I'm going to move it that way a bit more to give me more room for the bumper. What else is there to do? Obviously connecting up all the piping and everything. There's a cover that sits across here that says Mitsubishi on it, so I'm going to paint that up. But it shouldn't be long now. I'm aiming for like March time to try and get it up and running and working, because I go to a lot of car shows and things, so I'm aiming to get it finished so I can take it to shows and start, showing other people what it's had. So Yes, I shall carry on and do a bit more. There she goes. So that was the nut I was after. I've got to get my fingers in there now and try and tighten it up to try and get it to grip. I've got it lined up. You can see how difficult it is to try and get to. So that had fallen off and it was wedged up against the water pump. So I managed to retrieve that. So that's a big worry off my mind, because I didn't want that falling in cam belt, did we? To be goodbye engine if that had happened. So try and tighten that up now. And there we go, bit of perseverance. And she's on. That's to hold the camshaft sensor in place, that. So that's on now, so I can start putting it all back together again now. Whew. Man, the amount of injuries you get from working on cars. Sliced all my hand there. Right, I'll start putting it all back together now that's all done. Man. There we go. That's that timing cover back on. I'm going to paint these at some point, so I'm going to take them back off again and paint them. I've got the pulley back on, timing covers are back on the back of that. So I need to now put this timing cover on, and then I can drop back in the supercharger and start bolting everything back up again. Not a bad little job this, to be fair. Thought it always sounds worse in your head when you start planning it in your head. You think, oh god, I've got to take this off, got to take this off, I've got to take this off, but start having a go at it and you should be surprised how far you can get. So I'll start finishing off now. Just this one to put back on now, and then I can start putting all the bracketries back on and everything. So carry on, do a bit more. So that's the supercharger back on now. Oil pipes are back on. Engine mountings back on. Timing covers are back on, but I'm going to paint them at some point. I just need to get this job done because I'm going to start starting it up soon, and I didn't want a random nut flying around inside timing cover, so I've done that now. Now I need to put on the bottom pulley and start tensioning it up now. So yeah, nice easy job today. Managed to beat the weather before it pisses it down again. Great stuff. And that's the boost pipes back together. I'm going to have to look at changing these boost pipes, because I'm going to put some gold heat wrap around this one, I think. So I've got the oil pipes back on for the supercharger. Boost pipes back on for the supercharger. This is so you can prime the supercharger oil. So that's that job done. New pulleys on. So that's the tension wheel for the supercharger. Alternator belts back on. My boost gauge pipes back on. So I've just got to clean all this up next with wire wheel, and I'm going to epoxy paint it to stop it from rusting again. I've got a brake caliper bracket for some big brakes I need to order. It's going to need some good, decent stopping power for power that it's going to produce. So not a bad afternoon's bit of work, that. So I've managed to retrieve that bolt that we're missing. Got my timing covers back on. Not sure if the supercharger's in line with the rest of the belt because it kept coming off, so that's another job I need to look at when I get it actually up and running and working. It does actually run now. It didn't run for when I first picked it up, so now it's actually running. Might have a go at moving this charge cooler now. I've got a brand new pump to fit as well. Down here, new pump. So I don't think that's powerful enough to get to the charge cooler. So yeah, might have a go at doing that now. First jobs first, cup of tea time. Can't beat a good old cup of tea when you're working on cars, can you? So I'll make a brew and then start moving some of these supercharger rads. Now I've done that bit. Just got a bit to do on the inside. I need to put all the trim back together, put the ECU back in, but I'm keeping it in the house for now to keep it nice and warm in house, stop it getting damp while it sits out here. And then I'm going to change the steering wheel, and I'm going to order the flappy paddle kit you can get for FTO now off of this youth that's making it on eBay, on Facebook. So there's a Facebook Nutters group that I'm on, so he's developing, well, he's already developed it. I think it's 200 and odd quid for the flappy paddle kit, so I'm going to order that once I finish spending on engine, getting all this back together. I need to test my headlight fits. Now I've moved the oil pipes for the supercharger because for some strange reason he had them coming up through front here, and there's a special cutout in chassis leg to put things through, so I've relocated those. They come up and through now, and then bolts at supercharger. There's nothing catching now. There are a few things that are up against this that I didn't like, so I had a piece of wood wedged in there, which was a bit of a stupid idea. I think if anything it wants another bracket making off of this. Make a bracket off of this and then have it to join onto one of these nuts here. That might just stop it from twisting. So I think that's what it's doing. I'm guessing it's twisting the torque of it and it's pulling belt off. But I ain't got to that stage yet. This is all the things that he were having problems with before I bought it, so you should never ever take on somebody else's project. But not being big-headed or anything, but I've got to a point in my life now where I can understand cars and what I'm doing, so just process elimination. If that's not working, fix it, move on to the next thing. If that's not working, fix it, move on to the next thing. So I've already done the wiring, so I've got all that bolted up to the chassis now. I need to fit the fuse cover better. So yeah, a bit more to do, but we're getting there slowly. Trouble is with winter now, you can't really do much in winter now. It's either raining, too cold, or it's freezing, so I'll do what I can and then do some more videos for you to have a look at. So I'll just put this on pause and do a bit more. Right, that's that job done. That's everything back together now. So next job is see if I can move this radiator across a bit more, because I am struggling to get my bumper to fit on, so it'd be nice if I could move it up here out of the way in this gap here, but I don't know. I'm going to have to play about with it, I think, until I can find somewhere for it to fit a lot better than the way it's fitting at the moment. See, ideally I wanted it in front so you can see it through my front bumper, but I don't think these pipes are going to be quite long enough to do that. So I might have to think of something else, but I'll have a look at that now, see what I can come up with. Alright, that's a bit better. Just pulled it away to this side more now, so that should allow the bumper to fit a bit better now. Just pulled it further this way, so I think I've got about an inch or two extra from that, doing that. So yeah, I'll try fitting bumper next and see how that looks with bumper back on and everything. That's not going nowhere. Might just put another tie wrap through that to stop it from rattling, I think. So yeah, I'll have a go at fitting bumper now. Oh yes, that's made a miles better difference, that has. It's actually going to fit now. Just moving it that way, it's just made a massive difference. So, and then I'm gonna have round headlights in here. I'm gonna fit some round ones, and I'm gonna fit them ones with eyeballs that move around. So I'm gonna have a fog light, indicator. Might have an indicator strip, LED strip inside here. Then have two round lights fitted, and then get some mesh. I just need to trim this straight and up, and then I can level this out, because I just did it quickly just so I can get it to fit on. So obviously it needs a bit more work, and then it wants a good sanding down, get all these cracks out. So it might either want another coat of gel coat over the top, or sand it back and then put some filler over it. There's a bad bit of damage here. It's nothing I can't fix, just needs a couple of hours working on it, that's all. Brilliant stuff, that. I'm not sure how much airflow I'm going to get to me charge cooler though, so I might have to make a few little, or have like a nice little slot in here so I can have an induction feeding that fan, unless I move it to the front here. But it's a lot of work moving that over here. I need longer pipes and a few other things, so I don't know, we'll see. I can do all these fine detail things once it's actually up and running, and that I can mess about with it on weekend and stuff. But yeah, I'm not too keen of it sat right behind the bumper. I mean, I don't think it's going to get much cooling, is it there? So I might have to buy like a fiberglass insert for in here, and that can allow some airflow into radiators, because that's my transmission cooler. That's for the that's for the charge cooler, and that one's for the charge cooler. And the one at the top here is for my supercharger oil. So they're all up and working now. I just need to finish off the wiring to make it look neater. So I bought some proper plugs to fit wiring. So I've got a nice little kit to use to bolt it, make a proper job of it. So got a full pack of connectors, things like that to use. And I've also got the proper crimping tool as well to use with it. That's me Ferrari F40 that I've been building, that I built from Panini. And then this is my Ayrton Senna Lotus that I've just finished building with a case.
To me, this is like the ultimate convertible right here.
Into me F1 and stuff. But anyway, you've not come to see that, you've come to see this, so. So a few more hours on it now. I can get headlight back in soon. I've already told you about the front bumper that needs, you know, neatening up a better cut than that. And then after that I can start working out where I'm going to have my induction pipes, because that's no good there really. You can't even shut bonnet. Well, you can, just it's a bit of a squeeze. So I don't know, it's going to be tight going past supercharger, so I don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. It's a shame that elbow's not facing down, because I could have put that elbow straight through this gap here and then run a boost pipe all the way along bottom. So I don't know about that. I might be able to maybe send supercharger off to an engineering company and ask them to chop that off and re-tig it so it's facing down, because that at the moment's nowhere near good enough really. I have got a special stainless steel cover that sits over this to stop it from hitting the belt hitting the boost pipe. Yeah, it's not the best. That's why I was saying I was thinking about taking it off and putting it where air conditioning pump lives. I think that might be a better idea really. I think he's just had it on top at quickest, but yeah, it's not the best. It's either I move this further over here so it sits in this channel instead, and then that'll give me room to have this one going across the top. So I need to look into changing that, I think, at some point. That's my HKS blow off valve. It's a shame it's gone all pitted and horrible, but I might be able to paint that, perhaps. Paint it up, make it look a bit nicer. So there's a lot of work to do yet, but I'd kind of do most of my stuff in summertime, because I don't like winter. I hate winter. No worse than working in winter on cars. But I'm getting quite excited now, to be honest with you. Can't wait to jump in it and start using it properly. But at the moment, I'm not working on it. I can't really do that at the minute, so once it's all finished, I'm aiming for March and start taking it to some car shows, let people have a look at it, see what they think. Yeah, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I will be doing a lot more videos coming up in future, so obviously I'm a one-man band, so I'm having to do everything on my own at the moment, so I'm only just starting. So if you just bear with me while I get myself sorted out. I'm going to get myself a nice camera to do some shots and things, and then I want it on a tripod so I can actually record while I'm working on it, so you can actually see what I'm doing rather than me pausing it and coming back to it. But like I said, because I'm on my own, it's a bit difficult, but I'm just aiming to try and get people interested in this build that I'm doing. So yeah, like and subscribe please, that would help me massively. And I will do some more videos coming up soon. Thank you.